Alaska Airlines is preparing to cross a symbolic frontier. On April 28, 2026, the Seattle-based carrier will launch its first ever non-stop flight to Europe, linking Seattle and Rome with a Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner inherited through its merger with Hawaiian Airlines. What could have been a straightforward network expansion story is increasingly becoming something much bigger. So in this video we take a look at Alaska Airlines' first Europe flight, why it matters so much, and why Delta Airlines is already stepping in to challenge it. This is now a premium transatlantic showdown in one of the West Coast's most strategically important long-haul markets. Strong early demand prompted Alaska to upgrade the route from its original 4 times weekly plan to daily seasonal service, underscoring its serious view of Seattle as a major global gateway. That is ultimately where Delta Airlines comes into play. Just a few days later, on May 6th, Delta will launch its own non-stop service from Seattle-Tacoma International Airport to Rome-Fiumicino International Airport with the Airbus A330-900neo, turning this directly into an unusually direct contest between two very different premium propositions. Alaska arrives with a fresh Boeing 787 hard product, including 34 business-class suites with privacy doors, but no true premium economy cabin until planned retrofits later in the decade. Delta, by contrast, counters with its long-established commercial playbook. This includes Delta One suites, a real premium select cabin, and a more complete premium ladder. We aim to discuss this Rome launch not as Alaska's debut, but rather as a head-to-head battle over product, positioning, and premium relevance in Seattle. It seems somewhat paradoxical to see Alaska Airlines choosing to expand into long-haul markets. The carrier has historically focused on short-haul flights and has an alliance partner in American Airlines, which provides intercontinental connectivity. Nonetheless, the carrier has big plans for international expansion. Alaska Airlines is going to be expanding long-haul primarily because the Hawaiian merger finally gave it the aircraft, scale, and overall network logic to do so credibly. For years, Alaska was a strong West Coast carrier, but not a true intercontinental carrier. The 2024 acquisition of Hawaiian Airlines changed pretty much everything for the carrier by bringing in long-range wide-bodies, especially the Boeing 787-9s that Hawaiian had already ordered, which Alaska saw as central to its international ambitions. From there, management built a broader strategy around Seattle. The airline is now looking to turn the airport into a global gateway, using its huge domestic feed to fill long-haul flights and grow into at least 12 intercontinental destinations from Seattle by 2030. Alaska has said Seattle is already its largest hub on the West Coast, with 109 non-stop destinations, and is now creating a dedicated 787 base there while planning for up to 17 Dreamliners across the carrier's global network. This is not just about the airline adding geography. Rather, it's about repositioning Alaska as a premium global airline with a new international business class product, alliance connectivity through oneworld, and a more profitable growth story under its Alaska Accelerate plan. Thus, long-haul is no longer a side project for Alaska. Rather, it's becoming one of the core ways that the airline intends to grow, differentiate itself, and monetize the Hawaiian deal. Rome fundamentally made sense as Alaska's first European destination because it sits at the intersection of demand, symbolism, and overall network utility. Alaska itself has said that Rome was the largest European destination a major airline did not already serve from Seattle, and one of the most requested cities among its loyalty program members. It also works beyond the local Seattle market. The carrier explicitly pitched the route as a one-stop option for travelers across the West Coast and Hawaii, using Seattle as a funneling hub. The westbound and eastbound schedules are timed for overall usability. Seattle services depart at 5:30 p.m. and arrive in Rome the following day at 1:15 p.m. Return services are set to leave Rome at 3:25 p.m. and land back in Seattle at 5:45 p.m. The aircraft also gives Alaska a stronger premium story directly out of the gate, with 34 business class suites featuring sliding doors, though there is still no true premium economy cabin until planned retrofits later in the decade. Delta does not tend to back down from a competitive challenge, and this is no exception. The carrier is responding because Alaska's Rome launch is not just another route, but rather a direct challenge to Delta's long-standing effort to establish Seattle as a major intercontinental gateway. Delta has spent a decade investing in its presence at the facility, and by late 2025 the carrier was operating around 162 peak day departures to 57 destinations from Seattle. The airline paired its 2026 Rome and Barcelona announcements with new premium lounge investments at the airport, something that shows Seattle is strategically important to the airline far beyond just a leisure route. If Alaska is allowed to dominate this market, Delta risks losing market share, relevance, and pricing power in one of its most contested hubs. Alaska's Boeing 787-9 offers an attractive new business class suite, but it still lacks a true premium economy cabin on its ex-Hawaiian jets. Delta's A330-900neo offers both Delta One suites and Premium Select, giving it a fuller premium ladder for corporate travelers, higher-yield leisure passengers, and loyalty customers. Delta also has a stronger premium ladder on the A330-900neo, which improves its ability to monetize affluent leisure and business demand. Even so, competition can dilute margins in the short term, especially as Delta is already dealing with elevated fuel costs and a more selective approach to capacity growth. Thus, the likely near-term result will be pressure on yields, but the longer-term objective is to preserve network economics and premium positioning in Seattle. Alaska Airlines has big plans for continued expansion. The carrier will serve London Heathrow Airport and Keflavik Airport, both from its Seattle hub. The carrier says its new Seattle to Rome services will begin on April 28, 2026, followed by daily year-round Seattle-London flights on May 21st. Flights to Iceland are set to operate on a seasonal basis starting on May 28th. That ultimately means that Rome is not a one-off experiment, but rather the opening phase of a broader Seattle long-haul build-out. Alaska is using Seattle as its new global gateway and has said it plans to serve at least 12 intercontinental destinations from the hub by 2030. The airline's wider map is already taking shape. Tokyo Narita Airport is seeing daily service, and Seoul Incheon is already operating 5 times per week. The cleanest framing is that Alaska is expanding next, not just to one place, but to a sequence of European and Asian markets. At the end of the day, Alaska Airlines is an incredibly unique kind of airline. The airline's decision to purchase Hawaiian Airlines gave it unique access to a fleet that could potentially support its long-haul ambitions, a key factor behind the airline's decision to engage in the transaction. Today, the airline has to execute its extremely bold vision, and in doing so, it's facing extensive competitive challenges. The carrier may have elected to launch this service at one of the worst possible times, given the volatile nature of the market and extremely high prices for jet fuel. Now, in addition to a complex market environment, the carrier faces an extremely difficult competitive challenge. The airline is looking at going head-to-head with the most dominant premium player in the US market, one that is certainly not interested in ceding market share. What do you think? Can Alaska Airlines successfully break into the long-haul market, or will Delta's experience and premium advantage make it too difficult to compete? Let us know by leaving a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more aviation content. See you next time. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles and a podcast every week. Visit simpleflying.com.